So there's a classic quote from the Upanishads, which says that you are what your deepest desire is. You are what your deepest desire is. As is your desire, so is your intention. As is your intention, so is your will. As is your will, so is your deed. As is your deed, so is your destiny. So let's turn this into something that maybe makes a little more sense for us. I call it the creation formula. So back to Stickman. So Stickman, remember, here we are. Before the age of 7, I'm just going to, a quick, in the subconscious, we have our beliefs, our values, and our habits have now been structured into our subconscious mind, which also includes our body. Our conscious mind now has the ability to either accept or reject new information coming in. Okay, so we're going to get to that in just a little bit too, but just want to remind ourselves of that. And all energy is flowing through everything. So if we go back to the first law, which that energy is, and there's an energy that flows through all things. An energy that flows through all things. And the modus operandi of this energy is the energy of more life, more life. If I had that influence slide, I'd pull it back up. Remember the very first slide we looked at? The definition of influence? Influence. Something ethereal from the stars that flows from outside of man and influences his character or destiny. Sounds a lot to me like the first law of the first natural law is that everything is energy and that the influence of this energy is always moving things towards more life. Trees don't just stop growing. Grass doesn't just stop growing. Animals won't just stop producing, right? Life is always evolving. It's always moving forward and always will move forward because that's the law. And it doesn't care what you focus on, right? It doesn't care what you focus on. Doesn't care. It doesn't even care what it creates, by the way, because it's completely non-judgmental. It's omnipresent, it's persistent, it's non-judgmental. So what changes, what gets created? Our choice, just like building bones or breaking bones. So, but this is how it works with our creation formula. So in our subconscious mind, our beliefs, our values, and our habits, this is how we are being, folks. This is our being state. So if we have a belief that we're not enough, we are being not enough. If we have a belief that a certain group of people are bad or wrong or evil, then we are being judgmental. So our being states are right here in our subconscious mind. And energy is flowing through us just like it's flowing through the acorn, just like it's flowing through the bush, just like it's flowing through the rose, just like it's flowing through the squirrel. Energy is flowing through all things, us included. Now, this energy of more life, this energy of more life is flowing through our beliefs, our values, and our habits and into our body, affecting our doing state, affecting what we do. So think about what it is that you do every day. What you do every day, what you do every day is specifically a projection of how you're being. This is the creation formula. As is your will, is your deed. As is your deed, is your destiny. This is what we're talking about here. This is from the Upanishads, thousands of years ago. I'm just breaking it down to some modern understanding according to the, stick guy here. Okay, so what we do creates what we have. What we do creates what we have. So if you're making dinner, then you'll have dinner. If you're making sales, you'll have money. If you're reading to your kids will have better grades. This is the idea. What we do becomes what we have. So our being states flow into our doing states, create our having states. So remember the thing we did really early on with your piece of paper? And I said, on one side, put what you want, and the other side, put what you have right now. So pull out that piece of paper. Pull out that piece of paper and look at what you have. So you wrote down what you have right now. So the point we want to make, gang, is what you have right now is what you've been programmed to have. You might want something different because the conscious mind is identifying, I want something different. But what you have right now is what you've been programmed to have right now. Based on this process, energy is flowing through your being state because you are being what you're having. Your beliefs are creating what you have. They're creating what we call your results, your circumstances, and your environments. And this because, gang, energy forms into patterns. This is a law of energy. This is perpetual transmutation of energy. This is Pito. Energy forms into patterns. And the more consistent patterns that the energy forms into, it creates a structure. So energy forms into patterns, patterns form into structure, and that structure always flows back to its source of origination, which is its source of energy again. So what I want to point out is that just like a filter, our subconscious mind is just like a filter. And light, white light, has all the colors embedded within it. White light has red, it has Roy G. Biv. They're all in white light. But if you have a filter, a red filter, you will only get red light on the other side of the filter. If you have a blue filter, you will only get blue light on the other side of the filter. So if you go back to here for a second, the subconscious mind is the filter. So whatever result you have, if you have a red filter, you get a red light. If you have a blue filter, you get a blue light. You yellow filter, you get a yellow light. So what we have in our life is determined by our filter. That's kind of like the key point we want to make, gang, and to begin to understand why we are in conflict about what we want, but what we have. So if there's a gap between what you have and what you want, which is most people, that's life, that's what keeps us moving forward. If you have a gap there, just understand that the reason you have what you have is because you've been programmed to have that thing.